Rob from Axel's Garage. Today, we're getting crazy. TJ is sitting behind for now because we got a lot going on. We got to go figure out why this Suburban's just not coming up and the monitors aren't coming ready and I can't get it inspected. It's been all summer. We replaced the mass airflow sensor, which was messing it up, and that was throwing the check engine light. We replaced that at the beginning of the summer back in June. Reset the codes, drove it, nothing. So what I did a couple weeks ago was I reset the sensors again. I got a tip that sometimes you just need to reset them again and they'll come up. We've been driving it, we've been using it, nothing. I don't know if it's related to the transmission not having a second gear, no idea, but I gotta go run over to my local mechanic who I use when it's something that I either can't get to or it's too big for me to do in my driveway or garage, and we're gonna ask him what he thinks. I don't know, but we might have to fix the training. I think it might be related to the transmission. It's the O2 sensor and the evap aren't coming up. So we'll take a ride over there and we'll see what's going on. We're real busy today, not a lot of time with the cars. Maybe we'll show you what we got brewing aside from the cars that's keeping us so busy. We got this 2003 Chevy Suburban 1500. It's got a 5.3 LS in it. It's a nice truck. This is one of the favorite trucks that I owned. Really like this truck. It's too bad that it's just not running well right now. It's a little beat up. Got a lot of miles on it. It's a great truck though. This truck runs real well. My son has been using it. My daughter used it as her first car, which was really good because it taught her how to drive something a little longer, a little bigger. She's able to negotiate getting into parking spots and making turns without a problem. This truck's got 3 issues. 1, I can't get it to the monitors to come in for it to pass inspection. 2, it's got a transmission with no second gear. And 3, the AC don't work. There's a leak in the system somewhere and we're having a real hard trouble finding it. We've dyed it numerous times. Can't seem to find the leak. I'm hoping every year that goes by that the leak gets a little worse and we can find it. But here we are with this this Suburban. Got the windows open because it's hot out today. It's like almost 90 and it's only 9:30 in the morning. And we're going to take a ride over to my mechanic and see what he has to say. Here's my 63 C10. That one's for sale. We'll do a walk around on that one in a couple days. That's a neat truck too. Alright, we'll plug in the scan tool before we go down there. My son's been driving it the past week. See if another monitor came in or not. Doesn't look like it. Nope, I'm still on the evap and the O2 sensor. Everything else is in. No pending codes. No check engine light. Just can't get the O2 sensor and the evap in. I'm going to try one last trick. They said to turn the air conditioning on. So we'll do that. I'll get down to 65. And they said to turn the rear defroster on. Right after startup, when it's been sitting overnight, and this thing's been sitting about 12 hours. Even though the AC don't work, I think it's the electrical load on the engine that they want. And one of the forums said to let it run for 2.5 minutes like this at idle. So I'm going to try that. I don't know if it's going to help or not. And then we'll take it for a ride and see what happens. In the meantime, I'll look at my live data. See if we can see what the oxygen sensors are doing. I'm already in closed loop. coolant at 132. My shift trims are in, fuel trims rather, are in spec. I think it's 10 plus or minus. I do have one that's not bouncing around like it should. It's holding still. There it goes. Okay. So now it's moving. Intake air temperature's at 84 already, and it's 9:30 in the morning. There's something there. Bank 2, side 2, shift trim at 99.2%. I don't think that should be like that. And bank 1, side 2 is NA. I think I got a bad O2 sensor. How do you figure out which one it is, though? And we're here. Where are they? There he is. Okay, well, these guys confirmed my guess, which was the bank 2 rear oxygen sensor. So we're going to replace that, see what happens. Not doing it today, though. It's too hot, and I got too much going on. So let's go see if we can get a deal on getting this training rebuilt. Okay, well, I'll show you what I mean by the semi-automatic transmission. If you watch my speedo and tack, you'll see what I have to do to get it to shift. So I'll take off. And you'll see it'll just start climbing. If I let it go to about 4,500, 5 grand, it'll shift. But what I do here is just take my foot off the gas, shifts from first into third gear, and then I'm fine. I can take it up on the highway, no problem. It's just that shift, and if you got a downshift from third to second, it winds up going into first, and it winds up redlining, and that stinks. So we're gonna pull up and see JP at my local body shop. He's the only honest guy in town. Frame Auto Collision. Let's see if JP's here today. So my pal at the body shop told me which transmission shop to go, and he's calling ahead to let him know that a good friend of his is coming in. But this is the problem. The transmission shop is a mile from the body shop, and I've been in the car for 10 minutes sweating my ass off, and I've only gone about half a mile, because this is Long Island, and it is just traffic wherever you go. 10:03 in the morning, and everywhere you go, it's just traffic. So we got a half a mile left, and we'll get to the training shop, and we'll see what they have to say. Let's see, hopefully no traffic on this road. Yeah, looks fairly good. Oh, I forgot to shift. There we go. Bunch of UPS trucks. But here's the big problem, right? Everybody's telling me that it's going to be like a $2,000 job for the transmission. But I go on Craigslist. There's a guy in Pennsylvania about 2 hours away from me, father-son shop, and they will do this transmission installed with a new converter for $1,050. So I'm thinking with gas tolls and a 3-hour meal, I'm looking at about $1,200 altogether. So I'm thinking $1,200. You know, if this guy could do $1,200 to $1,300, I would get it done. I don't think he's going to come anywhere near that. I bet he comes in at about $1,800, which means on my next day off, I might be taking a trip to Pennsylvania to get the transmission done. Because here on Long Island, they just want to bend you over and rape you like a Democrat every single time you go to get something done. That's why I try to do everything I can in my driveway, and when I can't, I go to my buddies over at Auto Diagnostics, and they charge me a reasonable rate, and they do good work. But a tranny shop, don't have a buddy in a tranny shop that could do me a reasonable rate. So we'll check this place out. Thank God the traffic eased up. And look at that, we made it down the road in just a couple minutes. And there is our old local Chevrolet dealership. I bought my first new Chevy truck here back in 1990. I got a K5 Blazer, my first new Chevy truck, and they are long gone. Look at that, just a shithole now. Now where is this transmission place? I know it's over here. I lived in this neighborhood my whole life, and I know it's over here somewhere. Where is it? Of course, I drove right by the place, and there's no parking. There it is. And let's go see what they have to say. Well, that went like shit. Really nice guy. Kind of remember him from years ago when I worked in a local mom and pop auto parts store. I've been in this neighborhood my whole life. And he's a nice guy. He seems like an honest guy. He took it for a test drive. He said I'm actually missing second gear and fourth gear. What I thought was fourth gear was just a converter locking up in third. He said on a rare occasion it's a band and it can be repaired, which is like a $300-400 job. He said, but most likely with the mileage that I have and the symptoms that I have, it's a complete rebuild, which is going to cost, get this, because I'm a friend of the body shop, and he realized that I'm a lifer in this neighborhood, $2,000. Normally it's $23 something or $22.95. $2,000 for a transmission. I don't think the truck's worth $5,000. It's just unbelievable. So it looks like I'll be taking a trip to Pennsylvania. So I'm gonna have to call this guy in Pennsylvania up, because right now I don't think I have one vehicle in my fleet that I can make a real long distance trip with. Actually, this is the one. This is the one in my fleet that I could make a long distance trip with by driving it in a semi-automatic fashion without fourth gear, just driving it in third gear pretty much. How funny is that? All right, well, that's great news. Back home, it's really hot. We got some other stuff going on later. I'll be back. Well, my trusty Suburban's parked. I stopped at Auto Diagnostics on the way back from the transmission shop just to see what his transmission guy would get. So he calls his transmission guy up. $18.95. $18.95, $2,000. It's all a shitload of money for a transmission. So I think I'm going to be going to Pennsylvania. What are you going to do? As far as the oxygen sensor now, I'm a little stingy sometimes. Sometimes I don't always believe that the mechanic's educated guess is any better than my educated guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure first that the wiring harness is good to that oxygen sensor. I'm going to see if I can test it with an ohm meter. Sometimes there's some in the message forums that said you can test it with an ohm meter. I'm going to try that. If all else fails, I could swap. It's the second sensor, the sensor behind the cat. I could swap sides and see if the problem follows. If that 99% long-term fuel trim goes to the other side, and if that's the case, then I really isolated which oxygen sensor it is. I believe they're the same. The ones behind the cat, I believe on both sides they're the same. Now I know a year ago, or a little over a year ago, we did replace the engine pipe, which contains the cats, and it also houses the 4 oxygen sensors, the 2 before and the 2 after. Well, one on either side. I want to make sure that we didn't pinch a wire or melt a wire or do something when we changed. I don't remember which side the oxygen sensors whether we changed. Hopefully I should be able to identify them by looking at them and seeing the amount of rust around the nut. Hopefully. Who knows whether that's true or not. So I'll take it from there with that. I'll have to climb under there another day. Like I said, it's real hot. I'm done for the day. I worked at night tonight, all night. So time for me to grab a little nap, because later on today we're going to be headed to where I've been spending a lot of my afternoon time, which is at the Dad's Club. And we'll talk about what the Dad's Club is in a little while. I'm going to take a nap now. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I finally woke up. Had a nice little nap, not too long. And we're here at what's going to be taking up the guys are laughing at me. The other part of my time, aside from wrenching on the cars in the driveway and in the garage, and it's the Dad's Club. And what the Dad's Club is an organization, sort of a charitable organization that does stuff for the kids at our local high school, creates scholarships, and spends a bunch of money on the kids. But how we get that money is through running the food concession at the football field. So today, it's Friday, field's behind us. We had a field hockey game and a soccer game on both fields scheduled. 2 home varsity games, usually a big night for us. We open up the shack when school ends, and we keep it open until after the games, serving all kinds of food. What happened today, though, it was so hot. Remember me telling you this morning, at 9:30 it was over 90 degrees when I was driving that truck with no air conditioning around trying to find a transmission. Well, it's so hot today that they canceled all the games. So we came here down to the shack, and we'll bring you around the front. Show you what the front looks like. Pretty basic. It's a garage that we turned into a food concession for the high school. I know a lot of high schools have them. Most high schools have them. And we're getting ready for tomorrow, which hopefully the games don't get canceled, because tomorrow we have a JV football game in the morning and some other kind of game after that. I'm not sure who's playing. Our varsity team's away this weekend, so it'll be JV. But what we did was come over here. We did a little Googling and found something that we never had before, which is a flat top grill. So one of the dads just set up the flat top grill. We ordered it on Amazon, and we'll be making New York style egg sandwiches. And for those of you that aren't in New York, a New York style egg sandwich is something that nothing can compare to. And hopefully that'll be our big seller on Saturday mornings. We'll see what happens. And when we make those egg sandwiches, I'll try to get it on video so that you guys can see it. All right, Rob back from Axel's Garage. It's been a crazy day today, right? Started out early, getting that truck set up. Prices were crazy. It was really hot. Went to sleep for a couple hours. Woke up, did the Dad's Club thing. Really hot. Both of those varsity games got canceled because of the heat. I still say we're breeding a generation of wimps. They can't play in the heat because it's safe for the kids. You know what? We played in the heat. Got to tough it out sometimes. Drink some water, hydrate, teach them how to hydrate, teach them how to forge forward. That's what you got to do, not teach them how to be wimpy. All right, so now from the Dad's Club, going on to the other thing that I do, which is volunteering at my local firehouse. Got to go do the thing in the ambulance. It's September 9th. They're doing some 9/11 memorials around town. So we're going to go stand by one of those memorials and cover another district's ambulance calls for the night. And then I'm back to work tonight. See you tomorrow. It's been a crazy day, and it's still hot out, and it's 6 p.m. All right. I hope you liked the video. I know it was really crazy and wacky this time. Not usually what we do, but hey, you know, figured I'd bring you along for the ride. See you next time.